Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and in this tutorial we will continue discovering the special methods that are related to object-oriented programming in Python. In the previous tutorial we introduced some of the special methods that we had. We introduced the constructor as of the beginning of this series of tutorials related to object-oriented programming. We also highlighted str and wrapper and len. Also, equal or equi, we also stopped here at the equi, and for this equi or equal, it is used to compare if the two instances that we have contain like the same name or the same value of the salary or the same number of age. Okay. And as we introduce that, we can use one attribute to compare, or we can use a chain of attributes, but we should be sensitive to the combiner, okay? And I also introduced that we can use either the assignment operator, double assignment here, double equal, to compare if the value is exactly the same, or we can use lower or greater or lower and equal or greater and equal. All of this logical operator can be used. In this tutorial, we will start from dict, okay? And for this dict, we can use it to store the attribute values, which here in this example, the value like Ali or 35, just to change this formula, for example, and we have 10 here. Now, we can store the value of the instance in a dictionary, or we can transfer this, okay, from a class to a dictionary. If I want to do, for example, print p1 dot underscore dict, and if I want to run this, I can see that now this has been transferred to a dictionary. So practically I can say I can introduce, for example, dict p1 or dict instance, okay, and I can assign this value to that variable, okay, and I can later print this. So I can manipulate the dictionary. For example, I can extract the based on the key name. I can extract the value or whatever I want to do. And this is useful practice if you have a dataset. You can read this dataset and you design a class and you assign the attribute bits in the headers of that class, of that data, and you can store them to a dictionary data structure afterward. Okay, I had a question from one of you that what if I create like a blueprint of the class, which is empty class, and I assign the attribute from outside. For example, if I design a class for employee, okay, employee, okay, and then I use ellipses, or I can use, instead of the ellipses, I can use pass. I will use pass here, the pass just to follow the same thing that I used. Okay, now I designed a class here, and this is the footprint of the object-oriented class in Python. This is empty, and I can take, for example, or I can make an instance even if this class doesn't contain any function or a special function or attribute. So by this case, I created my instance. Then later from outside, I also can assign attributes. For example, am.name, okay, equal Muhammad, okay. For example, I want to also assign age. That also from outside, okay. Dot age, for example, this will be 30. Okay, and if I want to be assured that the assigned values are go to the class or go to the instance, I can verify that when I print p and p1.dict, so I can be assured that my class now my instance, which is emp1, stored the attributes that I set even from outside. So you can just design an empty class and you can assign the attribute values to that instance, and later you can convert, or you can embed this into a dictionary. Okay, but we want to include the constructor for this tutorial, so I want to use div in it. Okay, and really I have a problem here because the constructor, okay, is int. Okay, this is int, mean it's integer, which is not the right constructor. Please be aware about the name, okay, because you will have a problem without knowing where it exactly. The constructor is init, okay, from initialization, okay, and init is something related to integer. I want to also highlight that to you. So inside this constructor, I will have the first name, okay, and the last name, okay, and as usual, we want to store the value of the first name, okay, and the first name, and I want to store the value of the last name, okay, in the self.last name, okay, and now I want to create an instance which is em1 or emp1 with okay, and in this case I created my instance, and the first name will be Mohammed, and the last name will be my family name, Abu Hamid, okay? And I can also, if I have attributes, okay, located within the constructor, and suddenly I remember that I want to add another attributes and I couldn't access the class, I can do like this, okay? I can do this instance dot pair date, okay, and we usually take the string value for the birth date, for example, okay, like for example 1982, or this is a random date of birth, okay, and I can verify also when I print emp1.date, okay. So far I didn't introduce any special methods in this tutorial because dict is considered as a special variable, a special attribute, sorry. So we can consider it as a special method, but if you want the actual usage or actual behavior of this is like attribute that can transfer the instance into a dictionary. Now, as I can see that dict is also here converted the instance values, okay, even the values that I set after that in this dictionary object, okay. Sometimes, which is the usual practice, is to write doc, okay, doc string. For example, we use three quotations, okay, for doc string, and we can use, for example, some description or information, and that can judge your ability to write a professional code. So please consider to add this doc strings just to give more descriptions about the string. For example, this class like describe the like employee names, okay, or name, like give it like this. Now there is a special also attribute similar, okay, to this one, okay, to similar to dict, which is called doc, okay. So I will have emp1 underscore or trailing on leading underscores. So I have doc, okay, which is similar to dict, okay, in terms like for spelling only, but in terms of functionality, both are different. So this will embed the value into a dictionary, but this will print the description values if it's included in the class. So I can see here this is the description that I included in the class, and this is printed using this special attribute. Okay. Now, what is important to me is to introduce to you the setter. Okay. So setter, which is a kind of getter, okay, in which we can see which attribute we set, and by using the getter we can get a special attribute, okay, based on the name that we design. Okay, I want to introduce this setter here. I can define this special method setter. Okay, and this setter will automatically give me key and value pair, and I want to return a print function here, and this print function will contain that you set. Okay, so when you pass the first name, the last name, the birthday, okay, I want to send you a flag, or I want to send you a signal that you entered this first name, you entered this last name, you entered this birthday. This could be like in a different screen, just for case of verification, to show to you which attribute you exactly set. This could be used in an application where you ask to fill your information, and at each step the computer will send you a message, okay, that you said this. Okay, so now we want to return you set the key, okay, with this value. So you set the first name Mohammed, and you set the first name with Mohammed. Let us execute this code, and we can see here now. I want to remove doc, but no need to have this now. Okay, I want to show you now. You set first name with Mohammed. Okay, because of this line. Okay, we have like two values, key or value. You can exchange them. You can use A and B. Okay, but use these the Pythonic way. Okay, in terms of variables or in terms of definitions. Okay. So we have key and value. This key, okay, is nothing but what you set here, what you defined here, which is the attribute, and the value, okay, which is related to the value inside the constructor or the value that you set from outside. Okay, so setter is a method that extract or print the key, the attributes we have. I have this attribute, and I have this attribute, and I have one from outside, and the corresponding values. So it can visualize this to you. As you see here now, when I use dict with this setter, okay, the dictionary will be empty. So setter doesn't work well with dict. Okay, you have to define this explicitly. Okay, how it could be defined explicitly? Remember again, when we have setter, we are unable to take or to convert the instance using dict to a dictionary. All items are removed here, but I can do something like, okay, self dot underscore key, okay, self dot underscore dict, okay, of key, okay, equal value. So I can store the key, which are the attributes I have, okay, in a dictionary or in the with using this special attribute, okay, and the value will be the value of the corresponding attribute. So remember again, with setter, dict will no longer be used, and I can use it, okay, by using self.dict of the key, which means that the key of this dictionary will be equal to will be assigned to this value. When I run this line of code, I will have now the dictionary comprises the keys and value again. Okay, one also of the usual special methods is getter, in which I can design, for example, secret attribute, okay, and I can return the value. For example, I can say def getter, okay, not get item, we will cover it later. Now I can say, for example, print, okay, I will say get, okay, the item, okay, attribute, okay. And what I will do now, I will check, okay, I will design a special attribute, okay. So you see here I have first name, I have last name, and from outside I have birthday. I want to design full name, okay. So okay, this item will equal, if the item will equal, okay, full underscore name. This is like a special design attribute. For example, not all of us will know this. For example, you can design key, okay, and or you give like special flag or a special name for that key, okay. Now, if the item is full name, okay, then I will return, okay, a string, and I want to say first name, okay, sorry, first name equal, okay, I will open a placeholder and I want to add self dot first name. Then I want to add also another here. I want to add last name equal, okay, self, okay, dot last name. And in this case, I have a special attribute that can give me the first name and the last name concatenated together with this string. Else, without else, your code will not be good. Else, we will use something is called like exception handling or error handling. After object-oriented programming tutorials, I will introduce how to design errors, messages, or exception handling. But remember this as it, okay? Take this as it. We use a statement is called raise. Raise, like it seems to be a print, but it like give you a signal, okay? Raise what? Okay, raise attribute error. Okay, so because we design here attribute. Okay, so here we have first and last name are attributes, and I want to design another attribute. Okay, if the user will give this, then I will return this information to him. But if will give me, for example, full, okay, then I want to show you, which is the like language or the spelling of raise attribute error. Okay, and this will contain some messages. It's not hard to be understood. So we raise an error message, okay, based on the attribute value. No attribute. Okay, I can change this as I want. No attribute item. Okay, like no attribute as item. Okay, so if the user will be managed to send the full name, then the information will return to him. Else, we will show to him an error message only, okay, and show to them no attribute with full name, okay, or no, not with full name, with the attribute other than full name. How or what does that mean? Now, to execute this, to show to you how can we use this. For example, I am able to print emb dot first name. This is in the first tutorial of the object-oriented programming. I introduced that we are able to access the attribute and method when I use dot, then the first name, okay, and in the same thing I can use print the emb dot last name or the birthday. So if look to this, the first name is Muhammad, the last name is Abdul, okay. But if I print, okay, emb dot what dot this dot full name, which means that I am accessing a special attribute, the message will be printed to me, okay. So you can see first name equal Muhammad, which is this, first name equal this, and last name equal Abu Kmail, which is this, meaning that I designed a special attribute that can return to me like a designed information or special information to me. But if I went to like full name or like full itself, or anything other. I want to execute this now. We raised an error. It's not a print statement. So we raise an error. So we show error message to you. And for this, we say that no attribute as full. Okay. Okay. Now you see here, I only have first and last names, and I only have birthday. So we have 3 attributes. I don't have the age, for example. If I send age, okay, then age also. We have age here. So M1 was age, okay, so it's already clear that I want to use, for example, address. Then address is not included, but sorry, for the age it was, okay, and it was stored in the previous, okay. Now we have the full name, okay, and we want, okay, so if we want to have a special attribute with this one, so I repeated this again just because I don't have age, but it seems strange to me, maybe it cached in the memory, but also age is not included here for the first time, okay, but remember I have the, for example, this address, okay, and address is not included, okay. And this is for the first time. The second time we'll remove this and will come in the top, okay. And for the age, okay, it was included also in the top, but I didn't like realize that. Now this is for get attribute. Now what I want to also mention that for difference between init and int, okay. Remember this thing, so we can use this special method int, okay, and this will return to me, for example, if I have here the age and I want to return here to me the integer of age, okay. Sorry, I want to remove, and also I want to return not the integer, I want to return the self dot age, okay, and self dot age should be stored here. So okay, dot age, self dot age equal age, yeah, and I want to return the integer of this self dot age, okay. And we can also introduce as much as we can, so we will remove it now and we can check if it will be full or not. So but why this init attribute, for example, why do we need, sorry, why we use this init method, a special method, when I want to, for example, print the integer, okay, of empty1, it will be like this, and it gives me the age. So I will remove this one, okay, like this. So if I want to print the integer values of the instance, we use init, not init, okay, we use int, and this will return to me the integer values, and I can remove this one, for example, okay, because I don't need to define int and int special method, so this will be compensated now, okay. So if I will have, for example, age, I will have weight, I will have length, I can return them, and when I want to understand what are the integer values that is stored, then I can print them like this, or I can use it to verify that, for example, the init contain at least one integer value, okay, or sorry, for the instance is contain at least, or contains at least one integer value. The last method I want to highlight to you, which is LT. LT is used to compare the attributes, okay, and it compares like which one is lower or less than in terms of value. For example, if I want to use this LT, then I will have other, meaning that I want to use self and other. So we can just show this to you, printf, okay, and I can say comparing, okay, the self, okay, for example, with others, with others, like this, with other, not others, okay, which should be the same of this. Now, what I will do, I will do if condition, if self dot last name, because LT is like used to compare which is less or lower than. For example, the letter A, okay, come at the beginning, the letter B come then, the letter C, okay. I use this LT usually when I want to sort the value of attributes, okay. So let's consider that we have string value. The string value is like first name and last name. The rule of thumb is that we use the last name usually to sort the full name. Okay, so based on the last name, we want to sort who will be beginning. For example, the last name that starts with A will be at the beginning, which could be lower. Then the letter will the family will with letter B will be next to that. Okay, so self dot last name, okay, lower than the other dot last name, okay, name, and this if it is not less but it should be not equal. What I will do, I will return now, okay, I want to return self dot. So if the first instance, for example this one, and if I have another instance, their last name are not equal, then I want to return self dot last name less than. So now I use less, as for that it's LT from less, okay, other, okay, dot last name, and it is mandatory to use else here, otherwise there will be an issue. If the last name of two names or two instances are the same, then I want to go for the first name. Then I want to return self dot first name is lower than other. So if we have like two individuals with similar family names, then we will go back to their first name, other dot first name. And now let us to have this one and copy this one, okay, and let us change this empty2, and I can say print if the instance A and B1, the last name of this instance, or the first name if the last name is equal, is lower than, which should be ordered better or in the beginning, lower than A and P2, then let us see the result. Now it should be it should be false, because we have the same, okay, first name and last name, and this should be rounded with a bracket. Okay, okay, let us just compare them like this. Okay, and if I want to change the family name of the, for example, Ali, for example, what is name of not to read Ali, it was like the same. For example, I want to check if the first name is lower than if the family name, which is Abu Kmil, of the first instance is lower than the family name of the second instance, which is yes, because we compare the family name based on the characters, and A is lower than B, okay? And if I have both with the same family, I want to use, for example, Ahmad, okay, and I want to compare this, and now it is true, okay? And as you can see here, we have a string to print comparing self with other, but self, it shows that this line it print the memory address, okay, for the first instance and the memory address of the second instance. And if you remember with me that when we print the memory address instead of the instance attribute itself, then we should introduce the string or wrapper, okay, which is this one, okay, to show the exact attribute or instance values. So I want to define str, and this str will return on the upper string, and I want to use this placeholder to show self dot first name, okay, and I want also to print self dot last name, and let us run now. And you can see instead of comparing memory address or printing memory address, we comparing Ahmed with Abu Kmail. Okay, then we comparing we comparing Abu Kmail, Ahmed Abu Kmail, which is this one, okay, and with this one. Okay, now alt also is used when I like have many instances and I want to sort them. For example, I will have this one, for example, as MV1. Okay, I will have also another one. I will have, for example, 2, 3, 4, and I will have, this is my family name. I will have, for example, Rico, and I will have is Luca, and I will have Mira, and I will have here also Sean. Okay, I will have Ali, I will have, for example, what is this? Just anyone, for example, Hassan. Okay, I have many instances. I want to sort these instances. Okay, so what I do, I can do by introducing a list, and I locate A and B1 in the list, then A and B2 in the list, and A and B3, and here's A and B4. Okay, and this should be removed. I can use sort. Please, we will introduce sort, okay, in Python, but I already included part of this sort method in Python in list. So go back to list to see how can we sort list. It's very easy. It applied in place. And this means that we will change even the value of this. So I can use em.sort. Okay, and now I can. This method will be applied to this, so it will be changed and sorted. So I can say for E and N, okay, I want to print E because now it's a sorted object. So I have instances, I put them inside a list. I did sort for them. Because I did sort for them, it will go for LT also, and it will sort them. So you can see here we did comparing Rico with Luca with the other names, and we compare also Mira with Rico. So this is the conversion. The final list would be Abu Kmail Mohammed in the beginning, Mira is the Mira John. Okay. This is the third one becomes the second one because the family name, the letter J before each, and lastly Luca. That's for today's tutorial, and I hope that you can benefit more from this series. And please do subscribe and make your like for this video just to reach to a wide audience. And see you next tutorial.